Under Nigerian extant laws, you are presumed to be innocent until proven guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. So the resurgence of extrajudicial killings, commonly referred to as jungle justice, under various allegations is causing unease in the polity, especially with growing insecurity and an election in view. From the killing of Deborah Samuel in Sokoto for alleged blasphemy to the lynching of David Imoh in Lagos over 100 naira cash balance, we examine the disturbing trend and highlight its potential consequence on religious tolerance, peaceful coexistence, national unity, and the rule of law. Thanks for joining us on the program. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo. Section 3, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria provides that every person has a right to life and no one shall be deprived intentionally of his life except in execution of the sentence of a court in respect of a criminal offense in which he has been found guilty by a court of competent jurisdiction. This, however, implies that regardless of the status, rich or poor, every citizen of the world is entitled to respect for his or her life and safety. The legality of the provision of the Constitution for right to life and safety of persons cannot be undermined. However, the increased rate of criminality in the society and continuous delay in the dispensation of justice sometimes leads to wide provocation amongst the public to take laws into their hands. Jungle justice or street lynching is a form of public extrajudicial killing which can be found in sub-Saharan Africa, more in Nigeria and Cameroon, where an alleged criminal is publicly humiliated, beaten, and summarily executed by vigilantes or an angry mob. Incident of jungle justice in Nigeria is assuming a worrisome dimension as people are increasingly taking laws into their hands. Reports indicate that jungle justice are applied in different cases, including mistaken identity, when someone is caught in an act or deliberate attack on the victim, and is in total disregard to the rule of law and human rights. Lack of trust in the police and delay in the justice system are sometimes seen as promoters of jungle justice. Earlier in May, a female student of the Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto, Deborah Samuel, was killed by irate youths and students of the institution over alleged blasphemy. Deborah was said to have been involved in an argument with her schoolmates, which spiraled out of control. The security operatives later intervened, took her to their post, but they were overpowered by protesting students who brought her out, killed her, and burnt her within the school premises.
Everything is being done by the security agencies to fish out those that are behind this dastardly act, and they will be accordingly prosecuted as provided by law. Let me further appeal to our students that we must not develop or imbibe the habit of taking law onto our hands. It is important that whenever and if there is any issue that one or some people are not comfortable with, they report such to constituted authority. That is what is expected of us as responsible citizens, and that is what we require. It is unfortunate, and I appeal that the peaceful coexistence that has been we've enjoyed over the years amongst our various communities in Sokoto State, especially between Muslims and Christians in the state, that has been there over the years, decades, centuries, without any sectarian violence, should, especially between Muslims and Christians, should continue.
And in protest against the death of Deborah Samuel, the Christian Association of Nigeria, led by its president, Reverend Samuel Ayokunle, led a protest in Ibadan, condemning the gruesome murder of Deborah and calling on the federal government to uphold the rule of law and ensure that the perpetrators of the crime face justice.
Hey, stop the killing.
Similar protests were held in Lagos and Abuja.
We are saying that Nigeria is a law-guided society. And for every sin, whether religious or no religious, the Constitution of Nigeria is supreme. Constitution must be brought to bear upon every conduct of all Nigerians. No religious group henceforth should be allowed to take laws into their hands any longer.
At a political gathering in Anambra State, however, Governor Aminu Tambuwal assures that justice will be served over the death of Deborah Samuel.
The unfortunate story of our sister Deborah that happened about a week ago, 9 days ago, doesn't represent our values in any way, because we all believe in the oneness of humanity and sanctity of life. It is unfortunate that happened. We pray and are working hard that it should not happen again. And we have allowed the system to do justice to the matter. It's being investigated, and the matter is already before a court of law. In Sokoto, we are peaceful. And I believe, yes, we are facing security challenges now, just like Anambra and better part of Southeast and all of Nigeria. Insecurity is everywhere in this country. It's the failure of the system, of security system that we have in this country.
Elsewhere in Lagos, Nigeria's southwest region, the highbrow Lekki witnessed violence when a 38-year-old sound engineer, David Imoh, and two members of his band had disagreement over a 100 naira cash balance, which led to the murder of the sound engineer. David Imoh, while his colleagues Francis Olatimiji and Philip Balogun were hospitalized after sustaining injuries from the mob attack. The victim was stoned to death and set ablaze.
I received it a rude shock. Very sad, but I was not surprised because we have been expecting this, and it's not the first time it will happen. Although this time there's a loss of a Nigerian, a young Nigerian, lost his life. Very, very sad. These things have been happening for a while, and we have been writing to the Lagos State government to assist us. The DPO of Maroko has been very helpful, but there's people we can do. I'd like to point out that this incident was not perpetrated by the Okada alone. The main actors that started the lynching and burning are the street boys. Street boys and Okada, they are terrorizing us in Lekki. And we will try our best to take them out. We are not law enforcement agents, so there's little we can do. We have civil defense arms, but very few. We are overwhelmed by the numbers of the Okadas and the area boys. The area boys are everywhere. Okadas are everywhere. So what are we doing to forestall? Number one, we are asking the Lagos State government to come to our aid again. So let us have a proactive measures, a drastic measure now to take them out. It's not only in Lekki. You see, if you take out the Okada in Lekki, there are still so many Okada on the express. So it's like you have a house, a room full of mosquitoes, and you leave the door open and you start killing the mosquitoes. They're still coming back. That's the problem we have. Most of the inner zones, they have gates. It is helping them. Most of them don't allow Okada to come in. But the main streets, which is the Admiralty Way, Admiralty Road, follow us. But the government have turned into commercial centers. That is our main problem. So we are asking the government again to come to our aid and help us. While we are also trying to do what we can do. Give us security men, give us patrol, give us SSS, RRS, to patrol Lekki for us. With that, the Okadas will move out, the area boys will move out. We have been trying our best to do this for a while now. The Lagos State Youth and Sports, they also always come to us Tuesdays and Thursdays with their van, late in the night, to go around picking them up, the area boys, not the Okadas. No, don't forget the Okadas, they are stubborn. It seems as if they own this place. Even on the express, they will face oncoming vehicles with high speed and tell the vehicle to go out, go fast, to move away. The Lagos State government must enforce the law, make a pronouncement, enforce the law. These Okada people, they are not Nigerians. They are Nigerians from Chad. So they don't speak Hausa. So here we are. We pray that the government will help us and we'll also do our best to take them out.
Investigation has begun. They've been transferred to the State Criminal Investigation Department. This is to ensure that a thorough investigation is carried out. We are using this medium to call on Lagosians to abstain from jungle justice. Whenever you have a grievance with anybody, walk up to the nearest police station or any security agency around. Jungle justice is not the way to go. And to ensure that we drive this point home, this particular set of people that have been arrested and those that will still be arrested, because we have actually started a manhunt for the rest of the suspects who have been identified, by the way. So we'll make sure that they are well prosecuted to the fullest, so that it will serve as a deterrent to others who might be thinking of doing such a thing. The truth is, even for this particular one, it was an onlooker that called the police, that called the DPO. So that happens, people call, but we still need to do a lot of education. We call on religious leaders, political leaders, traditional leaders, youth leaders to prevail on their followers to do the right thing when such things occur. People need to learn to trust security agencies and not take laws into their hands. So while some people have started doing this, we need more people to do this. Some people are saying they don't see our men. Some people are equally saying, oh, there was a patrol van just a kilometer away. Oh, I was driving through Lekki and I found 3 patrol vans just in a space of 1 kilometer. So I don't know whose testimony I should take, but I can tell you that from our own deployment, patrol vans are everywhere. Maybe Lagosians or Nigerians need more. Well, that's possible with the help of the government. Yes, but our patrols are there and we're doing our best with what we have. We're making judicious use of it. And we can only assure Nigerians that with an improvement in our logistics and resources, we would also make judicious use of them, optimum use of them, to make sure that we nip crime in the bud.
The wife of the victim, Grace Imoh, is terrified. She demands for justice for herself, her children, and his family. She wants those involved in the gruesome murder of her husband to be prosecuted.
That he left home 10th of May 2022. We departed at the bus stop. I came to my dad's place because my children's school is not far from my dad's place. While he went to work, he works in 2 different places. During the day, he works with Church of God Mission International Garden Center, Lekki, as a sound engineer during the day. Then evenings, most times on Thursdays and Fridays, he works with a band called Legacy 360 Band. So later in the day, around that past 5, I missed his call because I joined the choir in my dad's church for the burial to sing. So after the praise and worship, I had to step down to go and call him because I missed his call. So I called him and he was like, oh, did I hear anything? I said, I missed your call. He said, did you call me? I said, yes, I missed your call. I saw it now. And I said, oh, no problem. So I was on my way back to the house. About entering the Uber that I ordered, when I was called from my late husband's office that they lost him. I didn't get myself because I was like, maybe I wasn't hearing well. So I had to quickly run back into the church, give my dad the phone. That what the person said on the phone, I didn't hear it clearly. So my dad had to collect the phone from me, and he spoke to his colleague who also told him the same thing. David is a gentleman boy on his own, hardworking. Mention any handwork in this world. Any handwork is gifted. I'm a civil servant. If I'm going for promotion exam, we will be gisting. And what he's telling me will be one of the questions I will be asked there. He's loving, he's caring. That even married people, we have our issues as married people in the house. But when he's counseling married people or young people that are not married, you would think he's a counselor. He helps people to settle their homes. My children are little. I need help for them. They need welfare. This is their father who is taking away from them. I need help to cater for their education. He has a lot of plans for them. Pressing for justice as well for him. And he has an aged mother which he takes care of. Please, help my children. I'm just a civil servant. How much do I collect? And I need justice for the death of my husband. Don't let it go under the carpet. If it meant the world, it meant the world to me.
Admiralty Way, the Lekki Phase 1 area of Lagos State, is devoid of commercial motorcycle riders after days of task force operations over non-compliance with laws on restriction on unauthorized routes. Days after the incident, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, during a security meeting in Lagos House, Ikeja, placed what he calls a total ban on motorcycles, popularly called okada, from the highway in 6 local government areas of the state. He listed areas affected to include Ikeja, Surulere, Etiosa, Mainland, Apapa, and Lagos Island local government areas of the state with effect from June the 1st.
A total ban on this and all of the highways effective from the 1st of June. This is the first banning that we're going to be embarking on, so that others know that within a short while, it's either they get out or they look for something else to do. And from 1st of June, there are LCDs that are underneath them. We're going to publish them. We're going to list all of them. And so we're given the notice now, right, where you can begin to do your recce, begin to do, your strategy. From the 1st of June, please, we want all of the okada to be completely off this major road. Let people begin to make their own independent alternative. We have actually even provided those alternatives. We have bought last mile buses for them. Those are some of the things we said. They are effective, they are working. We have the medium capacity buses. We have the high capacity buses. And before the end of the year, we're also still bringing rail onto this corridor. So government has provided it. We have built terminals, we have provided jetties for them, and all of these things are also means, of alternative means of transportation. We will not sit back and ensure that, criminal-minded people will use that mode of transportation to now continue to perpetrate crime and criminality in Lagos. Life has been lost on a daily basis. Accidents have been happening on a daily basis. There's been complete breakdown of law and order, and they do not even respect any form of the laws that we have on the state again.
The motorcycle riders apparently are not comfortable with the decision by the state government. Attempts by the task force team in Onireke area of Lagos turned violent, but the police, however, stepped into the matter.
You can't do all this thing now. Breaking people's windscreen. Yeah, it's from that. It's crazy.
Mr. Kayode Okpeifa served as a transport commissioner in Lagos State. He explains how the ban and restriction of enforcement on okada operation assisted during his tenure.
It is not impossible to enforce any law. It is the will of the enforcer. It is the will of government that determines, to a greater extent, the success of any enforcement. On the issue of okada, motorcycle, the first thing is the law exists in Lagos on how every public transport system should operate. And during the Fashola time, I remember 2010, that was the first restriction without any specific law. And it was well obeyed. That was only in Ikeja until the police had issues from the national level and it affected Lagos. Then we went back in 2012. There was the Lagos Road Traffic Law where some sections of the law talks about motorcycle operations in Lagos. And within that section, within that law, there was a Schedule 3 that listed roads where they were restricted. The word we used was restriction, but in actual sense, it was a ban. Because the restriction was in concentrics, in such a way that you can only operate to a minimal extent. And what do we see? Within the first month of the law, even before the enforcement commenced, we have seen 80% compliance in Lagos. Motorcycles were being taken out of Lagos in trucks because there was serious media enlightenment, communication strategy was in place, and every sector of the community were alerted. The local government was involved in selecting the roads. The National State Assembly was involved in enacting the law. The judiciary was at the venue of the signing of the law. The okada riders themselves were made, the law was made available to them. So that was the basis of what the governor did yesterday. Now, after that government, the enforcement level went down. And when enforcement level goes down, naturally people may do something else. It was also well enforced until NSAS, coronavirus came. The NSAS period came. After NSAS, I believe the enforcement level went down. And that is understandable. Because the police have just come out of a situation where they were overwhelmed. So I believe what the governor did is to reiterate the ban.
The Lagos State Commissioner of Police condemned the incident and other forms of unjustifiable attacks on innocent citizens.
A total of 6 suspects have been arrested, namely Dahiru Ayuba, Suzanne Moses, Christopher Dauda, Joseph Teller, Chigozie Anthony, and Sunday Azi. Suspects will be charged to court at the conclusion of the investigation. I want to reiterate here that we will not tolerate any out of jungle justice in Lagos. There is no jungle justice in our law, and anybody who is involved in that will be adequate, will be dealt with according to the law. The issue of area boys is not peculiar to Lekki alone. It's a common issue in Lagos, and we are doing our best to ensure that they don't get involved in. If they get involved in any form of crime or criminality, we will deal with them accordingly. But like you were saying, most of these Lekki residents to employ them as their guards, and they bring in their friends to come and start living with them. What are they doing about that? So they should be able to join hands with the police to profile them, and allow those ones who are legally employed, who are lawfully employed by them, to stay there alone. If you go to Lekki, you find out that most of their guards are having other friends, numbering about 5 or 6, sleeping in their houses without the master probing into their activities. So they too should complement the effort of the police by profiling and screening them so that you can ease out those ones who are not supposed to be legally resident in that area.
A week after the Lekki incident, the Lagos State Police Command paraded 6 suspects, including a lady, for allegedly killing David Imoh in the Lekki area of Lagos. The Commissioner of Police, Sylvester Alabi, explains that the command is ready to persistently clamp down on commercial motorcycle operators who flout the order of the state government. Jungle justice has not reduced crime in Africa, but has rather multiplied the number of human rights abuses on the continent. There is therefore need for proper education and enlightenment on the consequence of resorting to extrajudicial killings, which at the end of the day promotes disunity, destroys the rule of law, and destroys peaceful coexistence.
No more okada! Take back Lekki! No more okada! Take back Lekki!
And that's it on this episode of the program. Thanks for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.